Välkommen alla sammen. A few weeks ago I made a video about the full Berserker ritual, and in there I briefly touched on a dance that was most likely done in order to get to this frenzied Berserker state. This video is going into a bit more depth on those sources about the dance. First of all, every warrior culture did some sort of pre-battle weapons dance. You may know it from the Maori with their hakas, but there are many more ancient cultures and still existing traditions today that do the same thing. The Baris dance done in Indonesia, the Middle Eastern Ada dance, in Africa, one of my favorites, the Zulu in Lamu dance, the stick dance done by the Spanish and the Portuguese, and so many more in pretty much every culture in the world. We are pretty damn certain that the Norse and also Germanic peoples did some sort of pre-battle dance too. First, let's look at the archaeological finds. The most famous one is the Toúl plates from Sweden, dated to before the Viking Age. Okay, very clear here that is a berserker and some sort of dance. But also this person here with the horns and spears, who is interpreted to be a spiritual leader of some sort, directing, leading the dance. This is not just an image we find once, but many other archaeological finds. Here is an amulet dated to the Viking Age from Uppland, Sweden. That's depicting the same horn-speared spiritual leader. Here is another one called the Galluhus horns from Denmark, dated to the 5th century, depicting a couple images that are believed to be warriors dancing. This is not just a Scandinavian thing, but it also appears to be a Germanic thing. On a helmet in Sutton Hoo, England, an identical image of these horned, speared, dancing spiritual leaders. This was Anglo-Saxon England at the time, when they were still pagan when this helmet is dated to, so it's incredible that it is so similar to the Norse depictions, but actually not surprising, seeing as though they are still Germanic peoples and something we all did if we go far back enough in time. In fact, we have one much older source from ancient Rome mentioning a dance done by the young men of the Germanic tribes. It was done naked and with spears. All of this seems to be at a festival for the purpose of being a spectacle for those watching rather than a war dance. However, in this same source, it does mention how the Germanic tribes growled and sung songs underneath their shields in order to amplify their voices and bring the war spirit. So we know they did these types of things before battle at least. There's just one problem. All of these archaeological finds and texts are from before the Viking Age, and we actually don't have in any of the thousands of pages of Norse written sources that mention any kind of a battle dance. This is of course natural, to be expected, as those sources were written by Christians and they were trying very hard to censor most of the pagan beliefs and customs. I mean, berserkers are barely even mentioned in a lot of these Norse sources. However, we do have one source from the Byzantine Empire, actually from the Viking Age. The Norsemen serving in the Varangian Emperor's Guard in Constantinople are attested as doing a dance, and it is described in pretty good detail as you see here. Dancing in two circles, clashing on shields and spears, wearing some skins or masks, along with chants of certain phrases, Toúl being the main word that was attested, which we don't exactly know what it means, but there are also other phrases spoken in a multitude of languages. Of course, the Varangian Guard was primarily Norse, probably most likely Swedes, living in the east of Europe, but there would have been some Anglo-Saxons in there, and Danes, and Norwegians, and other Germanic peoples there too. So we can't say if this exact dance is being done by berserkers there, but it sure as hell sounds like it with their skins and their masks. And this scene you see in Northmen actually is a beautiful depiction of what this dance might have looked like when putting together all of the sources that I went over. It's the reason why this is my favorite Viking movie of all time and the most historically accurate. But, of course, we are allowed to reconstruct these things according to what we feel works for us. We have to try different things, and definitely wise to learn from different cultures too. I'm definitely working on this and will eventually come up with the ultimate pre-battle ritual and truly bring back this lost aspect of our culture. The war spirit of our ancestors is what we need more than anything else today. But hope you liked the video and the sources. Do you know of any other war dances? Any from your culture? We would love to hear in the comments. But that's all for today. Vi ses nästa gång.